On average, dental specialists make $100,000 per year more than a general dentist, and they work much less hours every week. And they never have to do a hygiene check or another class 2 filling again. They are simply experts at one thing, and they masterfully get to do this day in, day out. The hours of backbreaking work as a general dentist, dealing with all aspects of dentistry, and the thought of running my own business is quite real and starting to worry me. So let's talk today about why there's regret starting to creep in about not choosing to specialize in dentistry. And stay till the end of the video where I mention the benefits of not specializing, even though it can be glamorized in the pre-dental and dental student communities. Okay, first off, general dentistry is really hard, guys. Granted, I'm still very early into my career, but it has been quite the challenge thus far. Just about every day I go in, I see something slightly different, something slightly unique, a new challenge that I must troubleshoot from just about every specialty there is. Coming out of school, I had the desire to be known as a super GP. For those of you who are unfamiliar with what exactly that is, it's a general dentist pretty much aspiring to be great at everything that general dentistry has to offer. In theory, this sounds like a fantastic world of never-ending learning. But as the weeks turn to months, I constantly find myself struggling with cases I realize that I simply don't have the proper training for. A routine premolar endo suddenly becomes a complex challenge with calcification at the apex that I just simply couldn't navigate. A seemingly straightforward wisdom tooth extraction just refuses to cooperate, and I have to refer the patient elsewhere, affecting the doctor-patient relationship. You see, these setbacks, no matter how confident I felt in the moment, have the potential to shatter a new grad's confidence. Because let's face it, the only way to become better in this profession is to incrementally just tackle more difficult cases until reaching a level of proficiency. Except there's real people we're practicing on. And the only difference is that in residency, the patients are understanding of being in a learning environment, which is not the case in private practice. You know, having to constantly grapple with that sense of inadequacy in a profession that often attracts perfectionists can be heartbreaking. And it makes me truly question whether I should have specialized. You know, it's also a bit of a touchy subject, but let's be real. When it comes to working in healthcare, money does matter. We all want to make a decent living and take care of our loved ones and really enjoy the fruits of our hard work. It's only natural. Now, when you look at specialists versus general dentists, but is their work necessarily harder? Well, that's kind of a subjective question, and it's tough to give you a straightforward answer. Specialists do have their set of challenges, like the upfront costs of going through residency, the income you miss out on during those residency years, and the fact that you're narrowing your focus to just one specific area of expertise. But here's the game changer. Imagine going into work every day and mastering that one highly profitable skill. 4 wisdom teeth extractions on a teenager under IV sedation in just 30 minutes? Or how about effortlessly placing a stainless steel crown after just 4 swipes of a burr and smoothly handling those teeny tiny pediatric extractions? You see, there's real beauty in being exceptional at one thing and reaping the rewards that come with it. It's not just about the money, it's about finding your groove and being highly rewarded for your expertise. But after doing so many class 2 fillings for insurance patients and realizing this very technique sensitive procedure at times is netting me less than $100 in an hour, well, imagine never having to deal with any of those issues again. And those countless hygiene checks that seem to pop up through the day when you're just in the middle of some really intricate procedure. You can kiss all that goodbye. You see, specializing offers you a sweet escape from some of the most common dental annoyances and headaches that every general dentist like me face on a day in, day out basis. These little things may not seem like a big deal on the surface, but trust me, they add up. And over the years, they can really take a toll on your enthusiasm for your work. I mean, we can't just stop doing hygiene checks or just turn our back on those low reimbursement fillings. Sure, maybe someday down the line, you can bring in an associate to help you with the load. But that's in the distant future, dog. In the meantime, we're putting in a lot of hard work. It's like constantly just juggling several tedious tasks, and it can really be overwhelming. There are moments when I look at my production numbers and I wonder if this is all worth it or not. In the grand scheme of things, it balances out. It's just one of those things that makes us general dentists really appreciate the beauty of specialization even more. Now, let's talk about the work-life balance of a specialist. You know that work-life balance that was promised to you when they told you to be a dentist when you were younger? They were talking about specializing the whole time. because specialists tend to have a lot more free time on their hands. See, the thing is, specialists often don't need to block out their schedules for long, full 8-hour work days, 5 days a week. That's because they rely on referrals. So it's not like they constantly have to be booked out to the max. And many specialists simply choose not to work a full 5-day work week, even though they could. Extended weekends, indulging in hobbies, and savoring the quality time with their loved ones. Can you imagine not being chained to that dental chair all week long? Specialists seem to have mastered this balance, and it always gets me questioning if I should just go back to school and specialize. They can take off on a Friday for a spontaneous getaway, or spend a leisurely Monday morning at a cozy cafe, while the rest of us are just rushing to our Monday morning appointments. But hey, it's not just about the extra time off. When you're not constantly rushing from one patient to the next, you can truly dedicate your focus to delivering exceptional care. So as a general dentist, it's hard not to admire the lifestyle that specialists get to enjoy. Now you're thinking, wow, becoming a specialist sounds awesome. Dr. Rana, you must really dislike general dentistry, and you must really regret not specializing, right? Not so fast. I wouldn't quite say that yet. Here's my reasoning, and also why I promise that specializing may be a little bit more glamorized than you may expect. The versatility of being a general dentist is awesome, and it's actually quite liberating. Sure, there are those days where everything seems to go wrong and you start questioning all your life choices. But once that storm passes, you realize there's a certain magic in being a jack of all trades. See, the thing is, I've got a soft spot for a lot of different aspects of general dentistry. I mean, I genuinely enjoy doing extractions, even those really tricky ones. I love those aesthetic cases where you're able to transform someone's smile. Those are pretty darn satisfying. And then there are those ortho cases and root canal cases whenever you're up for the challenge. What about that adorable little kid rolling through the door whose perception about dentistry is about to change to a positive experience with you? I find something to love in all these aspects of general dentistry. Now, I'm not saying I want to do all of these things exclusively, day in, day out. Nah. What I love is the variety in my job. I get to pick and choose the cases that I want to tackle, and for the rest, I got a trusted list of specialists I can refer out to. Difficult patient? Off to the specialist. Roots look like they deserve to be in a horror movie? Specialist you go. Kids just doing acrobatics during a hygiene exam? Specialist. And when there's an impacted third molar right on that nerve with an extensive list of medical conditions? You guessed it. Specialist. General practice can be a breeze when you have the luxury of choosing your cases. Don't get me wrong, there's still plenty of challenges, but there's real beauty in being able to select your battles most of the time. But what makes these challenges easier is the ability to form incredible relationships with my patients. Specialists don't always have the same opportunity, and for me, there's something really fulfilling about these human connections. I get like this warm inner glow that I can't help but appreciate. I feel genuinely lucky to be a part of a big team and have a wide pool of patients to interact with every day. I mean, can you imagine being in one operatory all day with just one assistant and one patient doing molar endos until you retire? Not my cup of tea for sure. I thrive on the excitement and variety in my professional life. There's this special joy I get cracking jokes with my patients I've come to know over time. We get to share family stories and catch up on life. If I gave this up, it would feel like similar to doing a desk job, just staring at a computer screen all day from dawn till dusk. Always believe dentistry is not just about fixing teeth, but about touching lives. The bonds I form with my patients go beyond just a dental chair. It's about making them feel comfortable, understood, and cared for. And that's something I would never want to give anything up for. And let's not forget the joy of seeing a patient's confidence just blossom after a successful treatment or witnessing a child's positive first experience at the dentist's office. These moments are actually priceless, and they remind me why I chose this path in the first place. So while specialists may have their own unique journey, I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be a general dentist and bring a little more warmth to humanity through the world of dentistry. With great CE that teaches real-life dentistry, education doesn't stop there because there's tons of CE that teach real-life dentistry. I'll link a few CE that I've taken in the description below in case you're interested. But the path to becoming a super GP isn't easy, but I've witnessed many dedicated doctors on this journey achieve their goals by pushing themselves to achieve exceptional results. And sure, sometimes we wonder if the grass is greener on the specialist side. But can you imagine dealing with medically complex patients, kids just having meltdowns in your chair, peering into a tiny little dark hole in the back of somebody's mouth, for hours on end. Here's the thing, specialists do have a very limited scope. They can't simply put a beautiful crown on that challenging root canal or seamlessly attach an implant crown to a tough implant placement. There's a certain beauty in doing straightforward, bread and butter restorative work without the constant pressure of being on for complex full mouth reconstructions like a prosthodontist does, or dealing with screaming kids like a pediatric dentist does. Specialist life is surely stressful, and I take great pride in being able to currently choose what stresses me out. It's all about finding the balance and knowing when to bring my A game for those complex cases, while just enjoying the simplicity of everyday general dentistry. Wrapping it up, folks, I've gotta say, general dentistry is still the way to go for me. That patient interaction, those real connections we make, it's something I couldn't bear to give up. Of course, we all wanna make more money, work few hours, that's a given. But as the years roll by, I've come to realize that money isn't everything. It's about doing what you genuinely love without limitations. Sure, there are things about general dentistry that can be a bit challenging, but that's all part of the journey. It reminds me that the real key is doing what you love and making a positive impact on your patient's oral health. And honestly, if you're anything like me, you'll find that dentistry doesn't just have to be a job, but a fun hobby you look forward to becoming better at. I've reached a point where giving up the fun aspects of general dentistry for a fatter paycheck and a smoother work-life balance just doesn't seem worth it to me. I mean, if I ever lose the ability to just extract a tooth, I'd probably go absolutely bonkers and have a full-blown existential crisis. So my advice, follow your heart. If you dive into general dentistry and find that it's not your cup of tea, don't sweat it. You can always pivot and specialize later. Down the road, it's your journey, your career, and your happiness that matters most. But have you considered specializing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, my friends. And feel free to reach out to me on IG if you ever want to talk. See y'all in the next one. Dr. Rana signing off.